I call the Honourable Member Nicky Wagner.
Thank you, Mr. Speaker. I rise to support, as well as virtually everybody else in this House, the Southland District Council Stewart Island Rakiora Visitors Levy Empowering Bill. And of course it is a local bill brought to us by my colleague, the very honourable MP for Invercargill, Eric Roy. And the bill is designed to address a specific issue to Stewart Island Rakiora. It's the problem of how 400 permanent residents can provide the infrastructure needed to welcome and to look after about 40,000 visitors per year to the island. Of course, Stewart Island is very famous for tourists. It has beautiful bush, fabulous beaches and fishing, and has a unique natural environment. And it's particularly well known for its iconic birds, such as the kiwi and the kakapo. And I believe that, in fact, Stewart Island is the place that you are most likely to see a kiwi in the wild. 85% of the island is the magnificent Rakiora National Park. But it's to attract and entertain the tourists who visit the island that the community needs to create and maintain visitor walking tracks, tourist roads, and most importantly, to provide public toilets for their guests. All these projects are capital intensive and have ongoing maintenance costs. All these projects are difficult to fund by a small number of ratepayers. And the member, Eric Roy, and the island community have been working on these issues and looking for solutions for many years. And it finally decided that a levy is the best way to fund these costs, and this bill provides the mechanism to do just that. Because the island can only be accessed by air or by sea, the bill allows the Southern District Council, on behalf of the Stewart Island Rakiora community, to collect levies from visitors directly from an approved operator. An approved operator is the people that operate the airline or the ferry companies, or maybe cruise liner operators. It also provides mechanisms to set and review the amount of the levy and to establish a subcommittee of stakeholders to administer that levy. And their first job will be to establish the price of the levy and then to make sure that that money is spent wisely for visitors. Eric Roy's consultation with the community and with the Southland District Council was extensive. So this bill was well thought out before it came to the House. However, the Select Committee spent some time considering a series of issues. The first was the definition of visitor and excluded visitor, because who should pay the levy is fundamental to the success of the bill. The final definition of a visitor, agreed by the committee after we had taken considerable advice, was that a visitor is one who travels to the island but is not a resident or a ratepayer, or a dependent of a resident or a ratepayer, or anyone who has an ownership interest in the island. An excluded visitor includes those who are under 18 or those who travel to the island as part of their job. Also, anyone who stayed any longer than 21 days or remained entirely within the boundaries of the Rakiora National Park. We also introduced a clause that ensures that the levy money is only used for funding activities which benefit visitors or to mitigate the effects of visitors on the island environment. That seemed pretty fair to us. And finally, we recommended that any offences, in other words, people who didn't pay their levy, were infringement offences. And we wanted to do that to streamline the process and make it more cost-effective for the Council. New Clause 25 requires that the infringement fee be no less than $150 and could not exceed $500. Stewart Island, or Rakiura if you prefer, is a beautiful place, and it is a wonderful place to visit. I've visited Oban and further afield, and I thoroughly recommend anybody who enjoys a natural environment and a unique place and very special place to visit. I support this as an intelligent solution to a problem of a very small population struggling to provide the infrastructure for over 400,000 tourists and the funds to mitigate the wear and tear of those visitors on their island environment. I commend the bill to the House.
I call the Honourable